Hi, Garacha USA here. Today we're going to be filming a young lady, Caitlin, that is a good rider, and she's riding my Garacha horse for the first time, but she's never done Garacha. And so we're going to have to go over some basics on how to use one hand on the reins and use your legs to turn. So we're going to kind of go over that here, and the camera might get a little shaky because I have to look at her once in a while. So, okay, Caitlin, the Garacha always goes in your right hand. So you're going to have to use your left hand, hold both reins in your left hand. I see you've got the reins crossed over. Let me zoom on that, which is good. I've got the long reins on just in case you were to drop them or something. And I see you have the crossover made, which is excellent. And just hold your hand level just like you are, and that's perfect. Now he doesn't really neck rein, but he uses leg pressure and a little bit of neck rein. What we do for an English horse, such as himself, is we cheat a little. So just choke up on the reins a little bit so that you've got your elbow is forward a little bit. Okay, now choke up just a, oops, get the camera back on you, choke up just a little more. Perfect. Okay, now when you ask him to turn to the right, okay, you're going to apply like a neck rein, which do you know what a neck rein is? Okay. Apply a neck rein, and then you're going to use your left leg, okay, forward right at the girth, and use a little back pressure and ask him to do a pretty sharp turn. There you go, a little pressure. Now keep your right leg completely off him. There you go, okay. And the reason you're doing that is you're giving him room to come through. That, if you keep your right leg on him, that's saying stop, okay? So when you go to make your turn, if you're turning to the right, apply your left leg and take your right leg off. And that way you're leaving him a way to go to get away from the pressure. Okay, so try a fairly tight turn again. There you go. Now look up where you're going. Always look where you're going, because that makes a big, like if you're turning to the right, turn your head to the right. Look in the center of your circle. There you go. There you go. There you go. Okay, perfect. You get the hang of them here. Okay, now let's switch it up and do a turn to the left. Okay, so your right leg will go on, your left leg will come off. Leave him an opening on the left side to get away from the pressure. Perfect, perfect. Excellent. Look to the left, look to the left. Now it's sharp to the left. Look at me. There you go. Okay, now let me explain something to you. When you fine tune a horse, okay, to your seat and your legs, and you're on my treeless saddle, he can feel everything your seat is doing. He can on a regular saddle too, but on a treeless saddle, he can sure enough feel it. Now, and I'll do this with you sitting in a chair later, but when you turn your head to the right, okay, your right seat bone comes off, and your left seat bone comes on, and they move away from pressure, okay? So that is another way of telling him, hey, I want you to move to the right. And he's very attuned to your seat and your leg. So even just moving your head, and he'll already start a turn. Even just moving your head. You have to exaggerate it a little bit to start, but when you're using the Garacha pole, it's a good way also, because you get used to looking towards the center of your circle, which is what you should do anyways. But keep your chin up, but go ahead and purposely turn your head to the right. Okay? Left, right. Okay, do we put an L and an R on your hand there? Okay, let's try it again. Okay. Circle to go ahead and get him forward again.
Am I going to the left or the right?
And circle to the right. Okay, right leg, pressure with the right leg. Right leg, there you go, there you go. Oops, I forgot to move the camera. Perfect, okay. And don't be afraid to reach around and pull them, if you have to, cheat with your hand. And now let me show you another thing with your hand too. For an English horse, I was going to tell you that, and then I got carried away. with your hand, when you got your hand held like this, okay, you can actually tip his face that way too.
Okay.
As you're turning, and that way you're tipping his nose. It's kind of a cheat, you know, to a neck rein, and you're actually, at least once you get his nose tipped, that's half the battle, you know, because he'll follow his nose. So use that to tip his nose slightly, and that's why your reins have to be fairly short, and they probably should be a little shorter than that even, so that you can make that connection. Okay, great. Okay, hang on, I'm going to turn this off and we'll move on to the next quick lesson and let you practice on that a little bit.